Good morning, everyone. We are continuing here in the words of the Horowitz in the Sefer Mitzvahs HaKotzar, and this is a continuation of Mitzvahs Leisa, say the negative commandment Kuf Yud number 110 about the prohibition Shalol Likrav La'arayis Afilu B'Leibiyah, that you cannot get close to illicit relations even if you don't end up having actual intimacy together. And he writes the following: Mitzvahs Chachamim, the sages came along and they gave a mitzvah lahasi banav ubenoisav samach lepirkon. You should marry off your sons and your daughters when they are relatively young, when they're just getting close to the age of maturity. Shim yanicham, because if you leave them lingering too long in the world in the bachelor world, yovayu liznus alihir. They're eventually going to come to znus, some kind of illicit relations, or at least they'll be mahar, they'll end up having improper thoughts, which could lead them to zer lavatola, to have seminal emissions for no reason, and the like. It'll consume them with different ideas and different thoughts that will take them away from the path of avodas Hashem. And therefore a child, a father, a mother should try to marry off their children at a younger age to save them from this. What the minhag, the custom today, we want to make sure that there's some level of maturity, maybe 22, 23 years old. But a person doesn't have to wait till their son or daughter is getting old with wrinkles to marry them off. The younger the better. You're not allowed to marry off a woman to a minor, someone under the age of bar mitzvah, because that's very immoral. He's a little kid. What's he doing with an older woman? And so too, a young man should not marry an old woman. Nor should an old man marry a young girl. This will also bring to immorality. So the question is, what does it mean? Meaning, is it immoral for them to be together and have carnal relations? Or is it just the fact that if you have a young man that's married to an older woman, she's not going to find much favor in his eyes, and there's a good chance he'll end up going and cheating on his aging wife, or perhaps the older man who's married to the young girl. So it doesn't really match. A 65-year-old man and a 20-year-old girl, it doesn't really match. She's going to end up going around and finding someone younger, older. Perhaps. Shezeh goyim liznus, says the Horowitz, this leads to immorality. Also these yachidim harayis. So too, you're not allowed to be alone with women that are arayis, which relations that it says in the Torah are considered licentious. Also these yachid im Penuya, so too you're not allowed to be alone with a single girl, because we're afraid that what's going to happen while you're alone with these people, you're going to end up coming to losing yourself in the alone time that you have with them. There'll be an attraction, there'll be some kind of chemistry, and there'll be taivas, there'll be desires, and next thing you know, you're going to make a very big mistake. Any man that ends up secluding himself with a woman that he's not supposed to, that means going into a home and closing the door when nobody else is around. Makin shneim, makris mardus and machrizin aleim. So both of them receive lashes, and we are machriz aleim, and we proclaim their misdeed. Everybody should know that these are people that are alone behind closed doors when they're not supposed to be. Chutz me'eshes ish, except in the case of a married woman. She'ein makin ve'ein machrizin. In that case, we don't give lashes, and we don't make any hachraz, we don't make any announcements. Even though that really you're not supposed to be alone with a woman that is married. However, we keep things quiet. Why? Because if in fact we'd start making announcements and everybody would know that we were whipping this woman and this man for being secluded together, so if the woman's married already and she has children, maybe people will begin to say, oh, you see, she's a woman of ill repute. Must be that her kids came from some kind of extraneous marriage extraneous relationship that she was involved with, and they'll start saying that her children are perhaps mamzerim, they're illegitimate, and we don't want to cause something that is unnecessary, so therefore we keep it more quiet over here by the married woman. This is something that is enforced everywhere all the time, and therefore please be careful in the realm of illicit relations, because it could end up bringing you to things that, God forbid, you will regret for the rest of one's life. Have a wonderful day.